As I said on Friday during my Super Bowl prediction, I pointed out that the one thing nobody can predict, and therefore you cannot account for, is momentum. It is impossible. It's impossible to predict who's going to come out with the momentum, who's got it when the game starts. It's impossible to predict when it's going to shift and why. NFL coaches get heart attacks and pull their hair out when momentum shifts. If they could control momentum shifts, they would never be fired. They would never lose their jobs. It's one of the intangibles that nobody can identify. But clearly the momentum shifted. I think I know when the momentum shifted in this game. One of the first big momentum shift. But you just can't make it happen. Atlanta had it the first half, and then it shifted. And then things that shouldn't happen, happen. And have a great comeback. Hollywood could not have written that game and this year and tied it to current events any better than reality did. But I have a problem with it depends on how you define great game. I don't know what happened to the Atlanta Falcons in the second half. I don't know. It looked to me like they went into a prevent offense, except that they didn't. A prevent offense meaning run out the clock, don't take any risks, think you got a big enough lead, and sit on it for the entire second half. That would be, and there is no, prevent defense is the term that's actually used, and that's a defense that will give up yards and yards and yards, but then tighten and not allow a touchdown. And the prevent defense prevents victory. It's amazing. The prevent defense is seldom successful. And I've coined the term prevent offense to describe an offense that thinks they've got the game in the bag and stops taking risks and stops being aggressive and tries to sit on the lead and run out the clock. Except the play calling for the Falcons, particularly in the fourth quarter, I don't understand it. So, folks, I don't know. I don't know if it was just momentum. I don't know if the Falcons were gassed. I don't know if they were just out of gas. I don't know if they choked. But blowing a 23-point lead in the Super Bowl, I felt kind of like when the Cincinnati Bengals blew a playoff game to the Steelers, committing 30 yards of penalties during dead ball time. Now, this was not that, but, I mean, they didn't commit any dead ball penalties. There was not any bad sportsmanship. There was nothing like that, like in the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game. But this... And I sent people a note. I said in the third quarter when the Patriots scored their first, I said, this game is over. I can already tell you, this team, the Falcons, is doing dumb stuff. And I had people write me back, don't jinx it, if you start saying that, if you start saying it's over, the Falcons are going to win. I said, no, they're not. It is over. Middle of third quarter. I have a witness. My wife, a Patriots fan, who nearly left the room in anger at me when I said that for jinxing the game, and she sought another TV to watch the rest of it, and then told me the rest, don't say anymore. And as the game progressed, said, don't be mad, babe, I was right. But I'm the husband, so really not right. But here's Robert, Waldorf, Maryland. Great to have you, sir, on the EIP Network. Hello.
How you hitting them, Rush?
Very good, sir. Thank you.
That's what I hear. Look, I've been sitting here last week, and I watched this sports media this morning, and I thought they were going to accuse the Russians and Trump of spiking out the Atlanta Falcons Gatorade at halftime. They've been flipping out so bad. Last week I sat and watched them. These guys have blatantly taken off their mask. Like you said, the sports media, I heard you say the sports media is no different than the other one. I mean, they flat out said the reason they couldn't stand the Patriots because they have too many white players. That white guys ain't supposed to be out on the field doing what they're doing.
Wait a minute. Where did you hear that? Who said that? Where was
two shows on ESPN. It was a conversation with Colin Cowherd, one of them was, and me and my wife sat here and we watched this, and I just looked at her. This is
Wait a minute. Did somebody actually say the Patriots couldn't or shouldn't win because they got too many white guys?
The reason that they despise and hate the Patriots is because the amount of white guys that they have on the field, and that the white guys are not supposed to be.
You know, the star quarterback, and they got those two little white wide receivers. I can see that could tick off some sports leftist media types. I wish I'd heard that when it happened. I didn't know, but thanks for the call out there, Robert. We'll be back.